So, Rhea Ripley is back and Dom is screwed. But that's Raw. That's not SmackDown. On SmackDown, Bloodline rules. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a WWE fan. I love the unpredictability, I love the chaos, I love the excitement. But right now, the main thing on SmackDown is the Bloodline. I can predict that next week SmackDown will end with the Bloodline. And that is because, to some extent, the Bloodline does have, I guess what you could say, a monopoly on SmackDown. For me, the final segments of SmackDown, whether it's this week's SmackDown or last week's SmackDown or the SmackDown before that, they are the most exciting segments. And that is largely because of the Bloodline. And this week was no different. However, let's give a quick run through of the episode and you'll understand what I mean. So the episode starts off with the women's division. Tiffany Stratton comes out to the ring, Money in the Bank winner, bragging about her victory, challenging for the championship match, and then, of course, women's champion Bayley comes out to the ring. They have a back and forth. Then Nia Jax comes out to the ring, and Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton are like buddy-buddy at the moment, but Bayley tries to create a divide between them, saying that since Tiffany Stratton has the Money in the Bank briefcase, she can't be trusted. She can neither be trusted by herself or by Nia Jax. However, this sort of a tussle and this tactic of trying to create a divide isn't very successful at first, and Bayley gets beaten down by both Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. However, this is when Michin comes to the rescue with a kendo stick. And then this leads us to the first match of the evening, which is Nia Jax versus Michin. Obviously, the result was predictable. We knew Nia Jax would win, but still it was a fun match to watch. At the end of the match, once again, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton go at it against Bayley. 2-on-1, Bayley is destroyed. However, this is where we get the first sign of the divide. Tiffany Stratton thinks of this as the perfect opportunity to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. However, Nia Jax stops her from doing so, hinting at the possible future fallout between the two. This was a cool segment. The show started out nicely. Between the start of the show and the end of the show, everything else seemed like a filler. However, there was one moment where LA Knight came out to the ring. People love LA Knight, and this brought some star power to the show. Added star power. Obviously, Cody Rhodes is there and he's a star. But this also seemed like a filler. LA Knight just came out. He spoke about his upcoming match at SummerSlam with the contract. It's going to be LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship. However, there's a catch. Logan Paul has not signed the contract yet. And he's nowhere to be found. He was not there on this episode of SmackDown. So LA Knight is there in the ring bitching about Logan Paul, challenging him and saying that, you know what, you're gonna sign that damn contract and we're gonna have our match at SummerSlam and I'm gonna take that United States Championship away from you. So we had the women's division in the beginning, we had LA Knight in the middle, and at the end of the show, we have the Bloodline. I'm going to get to that. But first, what I want to say is that most of the matches during the day/night were quite underwhelming. They weren't too exciting. However, the final match basically led to the final segment of the evening, and this was for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The match itself was okay. At the end, DIY defended their championships. However, this is when Jacob Fatu enters, and he absolutely demolishes DIY single-handedly, and this leads to the rest of the Bloodline coming out. Now we're at the final segment, the Bloodline. When Solo Sikoa enters the ring, the first thing he does is that he demands that the audience acknowledges him. But he doesn't end there. He reminds us of what happened to those who refused to acknowledge him, or those who failed. He reminds us of what happened to Jimmy Uso. He reminds us of what happened to Paul Heyman, the wise man. But that's not all. That's still not all. He actually brings up Roman Reigns. When the people start chanting, "We want Roman Reigns," Solo Sikoa actually takes the extra step of saying that Roman Reigns is no longer the tribal chief and that he is the new tribal chief, and that if Roman Reigns comes back, he will have to accept and acknowledge Solo Sikoa as the new tribal chief. This got the audience wild. But then he shifted focus back to Cody Rhodes, which is obviously more present at the moment. And he demands that Cody Rhodes acknowledges him. Cody Rhodes' music hits, he comes out to the ring, and no, he does not acknowledge Solo Sikoa. Instead, he demands and announces a match between Solo Sikoa and him for the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam, something we accepted, but it's still very, 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 very exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to that match. Obviously, things don't end here. It's now 4 versus 1. Cody Rhodes is at a disadvantage. He's about to get beaten up, but this is when Randy Orton comes out. It's now 2 versus 4, complete mayhem. Long story short, Randy Orton is thrown through the announcer's table. Cody Rhodes is tied to the ropes, and the Bloodline stands tall. The episode once again ended with the Bloodline, the main story of SmackDown. What I would call as the monopoly. My point here, to a large extent, is that the Bloodline stands tall, much higher compared to everything else on SmackDown. SmackDown is Bloodline's show. Meanwhile, on Raw, we have the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre thing going on. We have the Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre thing that happened. Now Seth Rollins is in the mix. We have the entire Judgment Day. We have the Dom Mysterio and Liv Morgan thing going on. Now with Mommy being back, that's gonna be crazier. Of course, we have the entire Judgment Day. We also have the Wyatt Six, which is exciting. The entire Chad Gable track, and Chad Gable and the rest of his academy. We have the Awesome Truth. We have the insane love towards Jey Uso and his star power. So on Raw, we just generally have more segments, more to look forward to, more anticipation in regards to different tracks. It's not just one track overpowering everything. While on SmackDown, it's basically Bloodline rules, even if you have many other different segments here and there hidden in between. So guys, that's that for now. Please do subscribe to my channel, like, share. Until next time, peace out. Bye.